And this is a topic that has been discussed so often, and so I very often felt, why should I talk about it? It's nothing new, people know about it. But then I realized how often I actually get back in those situations where I make a common mistake and think about all those things that I wish were out there instead of doing them on my own. So stay tuned. Hi guys, this is Wenzes. Welcome to a new episode. Today I want to talk to you about extraordinary lives and how we so often strive for that and think that it's out there somewhere, we just have to find it. So today, as we said, we're going to talk about the topic of an extraordinary life, and that you think that it's out there. You think that you're going to find people, it may be peers, it may be a boyfriend girlfriend situation, it may be a job that will give you this feeling of my life is special, my life has meaning, and most of all, my life is fun. Because as often as we think we need like a meaning in life, we need a purpose, what we also need, and this is what is so most fulfilling, is this feeling of being joyful, of being alive, of having like all those great emotions around us that we strive for. And I'm pretty sure this is something we all share, that we wish we had that kind of situation in our life where everything is just like in a movie pretty much. And I've caught myself waking up so often and dreaming of this dream life, and all I had to do was just blend in somewhere where it already exists. And therefore I projected it onto other people, meaning I had people in my life, jobs, friends that I thought were so exciting, and that being around them would give me everything that I was looking for. And without even realizing it, I was adapting to them. I was kind of like neglecting my own personality, my own likes, and my own extremes. Like I always tried to blend in, and I didn't even realize it. I've told you like all the time this example that I had when I was younger with what kind of movie you want to watch when we go to the movies. This was like something I used very often, that I just said, well, I don't care, whatever you want to watch. And this was like really an extreme situation. And now I get back and back, like sometimes, especially when I've been out, like I was on vacation for a week, and I just really chilled. Like I completely let go. I let my guards down. I just, read, I watched series, I watched Friends a lot. Like I just kind of like just let it all go. And it was an incredible, important time for me because it was so beautiful. But getting back into like routines, I understood like how much I've just down and just kind of gotten back into like old thinking patterns. And just like a side note, it's okay. Like I've realized that now that I have been doing this for so many years, it's like you've been working out for so many years. When you've done that, you can chill. You can like for a month, for a week, whatever you like, you can just like go down that road that you used to and just completely let go and not care about anything and not worry that it's gonna stay that way. Because yes, it's beautiful in this 1 week, but if you keep on going like this, you get restless, you don't feel good about yourself because there's no motion. But there's nothing to worry about, because once you've had that routine, as I said, it's like working out. If you stop for a while, you get back real quick. So, but just this on a side note. And then I had like back those tendencies and thoughts of thinking, well, there's this perfect life outside of me. And I saw that one person or that one group or anything, and I thought, well, with them it would be different. Or, for me, actually, I used to think like with that group it would be different when I was a teenager. Like I really remember this. Now it's like, well, nowhere around me there's this life I'm wishing for. That sucks so bad. And then I got back like, oh, Wenzes, what are you thinking about? Like those people, no matter who you talk to, no matter how close you are to anybody, no matter what kind of like great attributes you assign to that person doesn't think the way you want to think. That person doesn't live their life you wish to live it. You have this like urge and this imagination of this perfect feeling of life. And this is developed through, on top of your personality, on top of, all those cognitive functions that are so like individual in each one of us. You have completely different experiences than anybody around you. There's no way anybody in the world will ever feel the way you feel. It's not possible. And it's not even possible for people to understand it really. And I catch myself how I so often don't understand others. Like I think like I know so much, like I can tell when people are going through things, and like in certain aspects, I really well know what to say in order to help those, like the people. But what I'm good at is actually accepting them for who they are, and then they can figure out who they want to be on their own. And there's never been a situation where I was completely right with everything, or that this is exactly how it's going to happen. I know when I can have like an impact on people, but how it'll be, it's, completely up to them. And so I reminded myself that, yeah, this life that I wish for, it's there for me to take. And we have to do the exact opposite of what we always think we should do, which is blend in, not bother people, create harmony. What we actually have to do, be as extreme as we can in our own understanding and in the way we want this life to be. For example, I imagine my life to be very colorful, very futuristic, very bright. So this is what I do. I go to a job, as you all know, I work in banking, which is rather conservative. Nonetheless, I always make sure, especially the last months, to wear dresses, to be, to have colorful things in my life, to be as bright and as out there as I can, and not in a way that it really annoys people, but more in a way of very specifically projecting who I want to be. Because the truth is, you will always get reflected back to you who you want to be. So if I'm in a situation where I want to have playfulness with people, by me being more playful, and this is what I do, like my job, I have to be careful because in certain situations people tell me I'm not conservative enough, I'm not strict enough, but there's this thing in me that wants playfulness in everything around me, and I include that in my everyday life. And the more I do that, the people who can't handle that, who don't want that, they will just go away. They will just find some kind of task to do that doesn't have to do with me. And the people who enjoy this will come closer to me. And this is just one example. The same thing goes to, I've decided to take a job which leads me to having a jet set life kind of way, a way of life. I'm in a lot of nice hotels. I'm always on the road. I'm there's always this thing I created which is a part of how I imagine my life to be. And the more and more you really make it a point to create those things, the more these things will reflect back to you, and you can grow within this area. But this can only happen if you become aware that you have to be a little bit extra, a little bit extra, because if you're not extra, you're just gonna stay where you are. And when I say extra, it's just because it's in a way of what you think is extra. I remember thinking, if I'm gonna act like this, I'm gonna be too extreme. People are gonna react to me weirdly and so on. But the truth is, every person that I was attracted to in my life, and I'm not just talking about guys, I'm talking about my best friend and specific people at work, everybody I'm personally attracted to, they're all a little extra. There was always something special about them, something that wasn't blending in. And so I had to be aware, okay, well, I have to be willing to be rejected and also be liked by certain people, but I can only do that if I put that little bit extra of how I see myself out there. Because we tend to have this impression of people can read us, people can see us. I know, very often they say people don't understand me and so on, but why do we think that? Because we think that we're actually projecting who we are. But in order for other people to pick it up, we have to be more out there with who we are. And this you can express with expressing your taste, expressing your likes, having hobbies in specific areas, just really living out what you want. If you think you love music and you live for music and you like to produce and you like to be in a world full of people who love this stuff, then you have to really make it a point and let people know that this is who you are, and kind of like make it, leave it or go, like take it or leave it, because I'm not gonna change. And it has a lot to do with being confident in a way and being okay with who you are, but those things just happen naturally when you're willing to say, well, I accept myself enough to be rejected if this is how people want to perceive me, because I can't live that way anymore. I want to be seen, and I will just blend in if I don't put all of those things out. So this extraordinary life we're looking for, it exists. It exists so well. It will never probably be as perfect as our mind is, but guess what? The more you create a life that reflects who you are, the more you can like really start dreaming or continue dreaming on a higher plateau, and the more you can create of this, and the more people will be drawn to your life, and more situations and everything that will just help you to create like your version of life, and to help you live out your personality and be seen better and all of those things. So I really wish for you to have like those moments of realization when you wake up sometimes and you say, well, I wish my life was more exciting and more fulfilled, or whatever it is, to realize that it's on you. Because nobody, this is I think the main point, once we realize there's nobody in the world who can ever see us exactly how we are, because they're not in our head. They haven't experienced what we have experienced. They don't like think the same way we think. There's no way. It's just not possible. You don't even know who you are most of the time. So the more you're able to like put it out there and say, this is who I am, leave it or take it, the more you can really build that up. And having this there's no other way mentality helps. You know, knowing that nobody can give you that will kind of like stir you in the only direction that is left, which is for you to express more of that and being more extreme in your expressions. So this is it for today. I hope that helped you. I wish you a great week, and talk to you next time. Bye.